He was born ready.
You hear that, people? I was born ready. Ready to conquer.
All right, let's get to it.
Bow.
155 in the mix.
Boom, another one. We're doing something.
Yep. Yep.
That's good, bud.
It's not much, enjoying a good time of year. Last day of your birthday month.
Is it really already the 30th?
Today is the 30th.
God damn.
Yep,
Time
by the
flies.
time y'all hear this, it'll be the first week of May. Anyways,
The foist.
got any plans for May? Yeah, this year, actually, side note, this year has been flying by so far.
Any
to be in the
plans for
fifth
May?
month.
Oh, I'm going on vacation. Well, I guess like a little cousin trip with my sisters and my cousins to Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
Got a nice little cabin out there, so it's gonna be me, my cousins, my sisters, their boyfriends. It's gonna be a fun time.
Actually, I
think it's like 5 days.
I'm doing something very similar
The 17th to the 21st.
with Amber and Isabel. They're going to a cabin, and
This is gonna be my first time in Tennessee. This is gonna be my first time in like a cabin like that too, up in the mountains. So it should be pretty cool.
apparently, it's like I'm pretty sure it's Chris's family. They do it,
Yeah.
but like me and Isabel got invited, so I'm gonna drive up with her. It's like an 8-hour drive, but
Yeah, it's
the
a
cabin's
10-hour
gonna have
drive.
like 20+ people in it. So
Oh,
I'm like,
fuck.
damn.
Turn up.
First off,
Yeah, I
how
mean
big
it's
is this
what
fucking cabin?
it's 5, 6, 7, 8 of us. Me, both my sisters and their significant others, both my cousins and my cousin and her significant other. And yeah.
And then I'm also going to Biloxi, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
Going to
What is
good old
that?
Biloxi, Mississippi. It is where I go to gamble.
Biloxi. I know, but like when? Like when are you going?
May. It's like middle of May, like May 17th.
Oh, that's when I'm going to fucking Tennessee.
Well, then it worked out perfectly.
Bingo.
And
Good
then
old Tennessee. You're going to go explore the United States.
It's
Get a
always
little
fun.
drunk. Be out in the woods.
I need to go traveling more. Haven't traveled in a while.
Me either.
I'm losing all my nicknames. Jordan hasn't been on a long time. All my nicknames just flying out.
Oh, shit.
I haven't gone out of the country in a minute. Oh, that's a lie. I went in January. But besides January, I haven't gone out of the
Where'd
country.
you go in January?
Colombia.
Oh, yeah. Oh, stupid.
Yeah. Totally forgot
Said
about
that's
that.
a lie.
But
Immediately recanted that statement.
literally, immediately. Well, May is wrapping up.
Fuck.
We're in the good old Eastern and Western Conference semifinal. Or no, this
Dang.
is just the semis. Conference semis.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is the semifinals. Yeah, and then the conference finals.
That's
so
true. Okay, there we
It
go.
is the conference semifinals.
There
You were on the right page.
I'm a little off today. A little off. But after the first round, what are your biggest takeaways? What was the biggest thing that surprised you?
I
off the
guess
first
fucking Jimmy Butler balling the fuck out. That was
Dog.
Yeah, he
Go ahead.
he really
Go ahead.
put
Tell
the fucking
tell
team on
people
his fucking back.
what is Jimmy?
A dog.
What? No. I don't think the people
Dog.
heard you. What is it? What is Jimmy?
Dog.
That
he
he
is a
is.
fucking dog. That shit was fucking
Literally fucking
otherworldly.
willed the Heat to good old gentleman sweep.
Honestly, yeah, it was a gentleman's sleep, was it? And I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be the other way around. Look at me
That's
being
what you
wrong.
get for thinking.
Fuck you.
I tried to tell you.
Well, who else? I mean, besides that, there was really. I thought the Clippers were gonna beat the Suns, but people started. Kawhi got hurt. PG didn't even play. Norman Powell was fucking playing his ass off, but
Yeah.
Norman Powell's only gonna do so much.
Him
for
and
them.
Westbrook. Westbrook was
Yeah.
playing a real good series, but
He
they
was.
were.
I mean, he had a couple bad shooting nights, but his hustle and his defense was there.
I mean, his worst shooting night was definitely Game 1, and
Yeah.
you could argue he was the only reason they won Game 1.
Well, yeah, he made that play at the end. He
He
blocked.
made that play. He
Devin
made a couple
Booker.
key plays, and then
Yeah.
his offense wasn't there, but he was distributing the ball well and just playmaking.
Yeah. Who else? Boston.
But I was expecting that. The Suns, I was expecting easy work from them.
Boston.
Nuggets the same. That was a gentleman's sweep.
The Nuggets swept.
That was a gentleman's sweep.
Oh, it was the
Timberwolves.
Sixers who swept. That was the
Timberwolves
Sixers
gotta
who
get-
swept.
Yeah,
Sixers, but Joel Embiid might not play tomorrow night on Monday. He might miss game one.
I heard like knee soreness, right?
Mhm.
Something like that. I think, well, I mean, personally, I would want Boston to win because I see us beating the Knicks. And I would want 76ers to win because
Yeah, I was about to
Miami,
say.
we got
Yeah.
their number. Like
Yeah, I was about
Boston's
to say,
a
you
much
don't
harder.
wanna see, you don't
Yeah,
wanna see
no, I
Boston.
don't want to see Boston. Boston's a much harder
Yeah,
matchup.
I think
for us.
Boston's going to come out of the East again. I think they have the best chance to come out of the East
I
again.
think they're the deepest team. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
I mean,
So-
and they have two. In my eyes, they have 2 1s. I think Jaylen Brown is the one. If he goes to another team,
Yeah.
he could lead a team to the playoffs and
Oh, yeah.
in a deep run. I think it is 1A and 1B. And on some nights, like Jaylen Brown is the
Yeah,
guy.
The guy. Yeah, it's true.
So there's
I mean, it's
that.
just their team full on defensively too. Like they're not only
Marcus Smart, that fucking who's that center with the dreads? I always forget his name. Who got hurt
Uh,
last year? If he would have not gotten hurt in the playoffs last year, I think they would have, or like he
Yeah, I
would
forget
have
his
been
name
so
as well.
limited, like Grant Williams or something
like that.
Something
They're
like
they're
that.
keeping him out until the play. They were keeping him out to the playoffs on purpose.
Good, because he needs to fucking stay healthy. Because he's their only big man. I mean, even Al Horford, like he's been fucking shooting lights out from 3, giving them fucking good minutes. Marcus Smart, obviously. Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench. They do have a deep team. They do have a deep team. So I mean, roster wise and you know, player for player wise, they're probably the best team left in the playoffs. But
No, it's not Grant Williams. He's the one you're thinking of is Robert Williams,
there
the
you
third.
go. Roll
He's
it.
nasty.
Bob.
Grant Williams, he's
He
pretty
shoots,
good too.
you know,
But
he's a decent player. He
I
kind of
don't
reminds
know.
me of Baby Davis.
yeah, he annoys me. I don't like him.
He
like
does
him.
kind of have a weird face.
Then I already forgot about it, but Blake Griffin.
Yeah, but he's just kind of, you know, on the
Yeah,
bench. He's
but
not really giving
Malcolm
them minutes
Brogdon,
right
too.
now. Yeah,
So yeah, they got a squad. They got pretty.
I think them, and I
Pretty
mean, you know, I might just be, you know, kind of recency bias and just off of what Game 1 was, but the Nuggets look like they're gonna, you know, they look like they're gonna make like work of the Suns. I don't really have too much
the
faith.
Nuggets?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't
have too
think
much
that.
faith in the Suns.
I do. I think the Suns can come out of that.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. I don't know, man. I don't know because you're gonna.
I mean,
be,
granted, I didn't watch Game 1,
I watched
I
it
did.
and they looked fucking.
but I also like some certain things I did see though. Ayton was playing soft as shit. Like I saw like a particular play.
I think that's the biggest matchup, and I don't think Ayton's gonna.
I
I
saw
don't think
a
he's gonna
particular
slow
play
down.
where Jokic got like 4
Mhm.
offensive rebounds in a row, like tipping it to himself. Ayton was literally like just watching the play, and KD ended up coming down with the rebound. But I still think, I personally think the Suns would come out of it. But
And
I
Jamal
haven't watched
Murray.
it. Jamal Murray is a fucking
Murray.
dog.
Oh my god, he was fucking. He made like 3 threes in a row at one point,
Yeah, no,
and they were fucking
He's
wet.
been good.
But he was out the last 2 playoffs since the bubble. This is his first playoff
because
since the bubble.
he got injured and fucking people just wrote him off like he wasn't the fucking.
Well, I mean,
G.
that's what happens though when like you've been out for a while, and you know, again, a lot of stuff is recency bias. Like, what have you done for me lately? And if we haven't seen you in a while, a lot of people
true.
will start forgetting. Like, you know, him and Donovan Mitchell fucking in the bubble. That fucking little duel
Their
that they had,
playoff-
that shit was fucking
that shit was
insane.
amazing.
That shit was good.
Great
but
playoff game.
yeah, I think again, it might just be a little recent, but I think the Nuggets are gonna again make light work of the Suns. I like KD, but I think he's at that point where you can't count on him like that night in and night out.
But
Devin
my thing is
Booker
not just
is-
KD. It's KD. It's Book mainly. Booker needs, just like last series. Booker was the real, like, I mean, KD is gonna do KD things. He was still balling, but I'm saying the factor was D Book showing out every night.
But they were doing it against wounded Clippers
yeah,
team.
it's just true.
This is a fully healthy 2-time MVP.
Yeah, but
Jamal
Jokic's
Murray.
MVP is like.
Oh, don't
I mean, I
don't
get like,
disrespect.
no, I'm not saying like he's not impressive what he does, but I wouldn't like. I don't think.
I mean, 26 and
I don't
10
know.
is 26 and 10 with
No,
fucking
I
8
get it.
assists.
I mean, my thing is, I
It's not as
guess.
flashy.
I guess
but
it's more of like what an MVP, a most valuable player. It makes sense because, like, for instance, you take him off the team. What would the team be?
exactly.
So that's why I'm like okay with it. But at the same time, I'm like he doesn't do anything that impresses me. Jokic he's a skilled player, but watching him, like, I want to go to sleep. Like,
And that's, I mean,
it's
that
a
was
boring,
the same thing
it's a
with
boring
fucking
ass Nuggets
Tim
team.
Duncan, and they won 5 fucking
This is
rings.
true.
So,
Very true.
hey, sometimes flashy doesn't.
The,
Russell Westbrook, flashy as fuck. I mean, it really hasn't gotten him much.
Yeah. The series I am excited to see though, Lakers versus Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as everyone knows, Warriors won
Lakers
Game
in
7.
6.
Fucking Curry dropped a 50 piece.
He sure did.
That was wild. And it was just, I mean, he was just getting everything, honestly. He was shooting his ass off.
Yeah, the Kings kind of looked like the moment was too big for them at that point.
Well, they had played a great first half. It was just, that third quarter Warriors came out,
yeah, they
kind of
did.
punched them in the mouth a little bit, and then they were keeping it close, but they busted the lead wide open, and then Kings didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah.
They couldn't shoot their way back in it because shots just weren't falling for them. And Looney fucking
was killing
rebounding killer.
Yeah.
21 fucking rebounds. So
that's like the second time in the series that
it's
he's
the third time in the series
he's had 20 plus. Yeah.
So it's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do with that?
Fucking box him out. I don't know. Fucking
they
put
tried.
two bodies
it didn't
on
matter.
him.
But like I was watching it, like Sabonis had a full body on him. The way the ball was bouncing, like it was just one of those games for Looney.
Yeah.
It was coming to him. Like
here.
it bounced right over Sabonis. He'd look and fucking bam, Looney's hands.
Fuck.
That's gonna be a good series to watch. But my thing is, like when it comes to like the big situation, granted, Warriors play small a lot, so that might help the Lakers. It might hurt the Lakers. I'm not sure, but if it goes like big, who are like besides AD, who are they throwing at Looney?
I'm not worried about Kevon Looney.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying for like boards wise. I'm not saying offensively. Offensively, he sucks. He's trash. Literally, might give you 5 points. Might.
Yeah.
But it's the offensive rebounds because the second chance points are what's gonna hurt because
Lakers. I don't know if he's gonna have that same type of impact in this series that he did against the Kings. I don't know if we're gonna see 320 plus rebounds.
Yeah, I don't think we will. I don't think we will, just because the amount of length that the Lakers do have, they have a lot of people that rebound the ball very well.
Yeah.
So I don't see it going that way for them either. But it's like if the Lakers play Lakers basketball, which is getting out and running, like on transition, they're going to be a hard team to match up with. Granted, offensively though, I don't know who. For instance, who do you think is going to start guarding Steph? I mean, they have good defenders. Don't get me wrong. Austin Reeves is a good defender.
That was the first person that came to mind for me was Austin Reeves.
Even
Vanderbilt's
a good defender. Even fucking D'Lo, he technically played for the Warriors.
He did, but he's not. I mean, they don't have him out there to play defense.
No, he's offensive.
Yeah,
but
until like the last 2 games, he was playing like shit in that series.
It's true. But then he had a fucking. I mean, the closeout game, he had dropped 31, something like that.
But like those first 3 games against the Grizzlies, he was playing. Watching those first 3 games against in the Grizzlies Lakers series was pissing me off because it was so fucking ugly, just ugly turnovers, sloppy fucking with the ball, fucking. It was just couldn't make shots. It was just super fucking ugly, and it was hard to watch. But then the Lakers started taking control and finding their rhythm, and then they kind of made light work of them. Yeah. It was entertaining as far as the
talk, the chatter, the Dylan
Brooks stuff and all that shit. But then, LeBron did what LeBron does, and
did Dylan Brooks get suspended for a game or just no? He didn't get suspended.
He got ejected
for
hitting LeBron in the.
So basically, he missed a half of a game
in the groin.
That's what it was.
You're right, because then they started fucking. Well, if Draymond got suspended, why didn't fucking Dylan Brooks get suspended?
Yeah, and all they were trying to say it's because his history.
Which Dylan Brooks also has history. I think he led the league in texts.
I don't think Draymond though should have been suspended.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But maybe. I guess you could see where they kicked him out of the game for.
They did. He did stop the shit out of him.
But at the same time, someone's grabbing your foot while you taking off.
Yeah, but
he could have tried to acrobatically land.
Did you hear
else.
what he said though? He's like, I'm not that flexible. I can't. That was he didn't even fucking try to move his foot out of the way. He literally just oh, okay, boom,
gotcha,
and stopped down right on. It looked like he didn't even try and not being that flexible. It's not like he was laid out vertically. It was horizontal. All you had to do was jump over him, and that was definitely intentional.
Yeah, it was, but
whether someone's holding on your leg or not,
and Sabonis it looked got fucked up.
Sabonis looked like more he was just kind of
Sabonis got fucked up that series. His eye from Looney,
the
fucking accidental elbow.
Kevon Looney over here causing havoc,
getting fucked up.
Yeah, so
but yeah, I'm excited to see that series. I definitely want the Lakers coming out of that.
Same,
just because. They were trying to get into this debate on it was Stephen A, Jalen, Mike,
Wilbon.
Yeah, Mike Wilbon, and who's the girl that was with them?
Was it a basketball player?
No, it's
the host.
The younger chick who's She's like everywhere.
Yeah,
now.
I don't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about. She kind of got like a little kind of like a baby face type shit.
A little bit.
Yeah. She looks like
she's pretty.
Yeah,
she's pretty
but
girl.
she's got like kind of like chubby cheeks a little bit.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Fuck. Whatever. Forget her name at the moment, but they were all talking about like Steph Curry or like LeBron, Steph Curry, and how this is a way to knock out because Stephen A. He always puts LeBron on Mount Rushmore. He's like, that's Mount Rushmore, but we might have to make that argument that Steph Curry might be in that greatest point guard of all time conversation.
I think he is. I mean, I don't think that's an argument.
I mean, I see it as an argument because I would go off like the Jalen Rose point that he's more of a positionless guard. He plays, because he's not like getting crazy numbers and assists. He's a pure shooter, but he does he comes off ball screens. Like he does more than a point guard usually does.
Yeah, but he's the one handling the ball.
Yeah, he brings it down. But for instance,
and
when you think about a point guard, you think more of like a floor general, someone who, is running the offense. And like for the Warriors and why they've been so successful, mainly it was Draymond would be like once it's in a half court set, Draymond's starting to play.
Yeah, but
so
I feel
you can't think of Steph as like a pure point guard.
Yeah, but I feel like 15, 20 years ago, I feel like that argument works. But we in the past 10 years or so, it's been more positionless basketball.
It has been.
He fits, he fits as far as the mold of a point guard. And
he just fits the height. That's the only criteria that Steph.
He's
fits.
a good ball handler.
He's a great.
They can run the offense through him.
He's a great ball handler. I'll give him that too.
He passes it's not like we don't know him
I'm
for
just
passing,
saying,
but
when you look at Steph, you think of more of he's like an in-between between a shooting guard and a point guard because he does shoot the shit out of the ball. So when I think of a traditional point guard, and I'll give you great point, you got Magic, you got John Stockton, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul. Those are point guards I could put on.
Is Oscar Robertson considered a point guard?
Yeah, he was a point guard. Oscar Robertson as well, but he did, him and Russ, for instance, you got to put both of them, I guess, in that top 10 of point guards because, and I might be disrespecting Oscar, honestly. It's just Oscar.
The Russ thing for me, and I don't want to be like that guy that's shitting on him and all that stuff, but I feel like Russ fits more of that mold that you're talking about as far as not being a traditional point guard and just being a scorer, more of a two guard. He's not really running. It's hard to run when he's running the offense and shit like that.
Depends.
It's not smooth. When he's
you're
just going.
You're talking about now, Russ. I'm talking about prime
Russ as well.
Triple double Russ was a completely different animal. That was mainly assists. He was having 14, 15 assist games. So it's hard to say he wasn't passing when he was getting numbers.
It's not about it wasn't.
Might not have been as pretty, and you don't look at Russ for instance, Russ would almost get in his triple doubles, he would almost get quadruple doubles because the amount of turnovers he would have kind of negate.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's still Russ is still a point guard.
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
you can't give that argument to Steph if you ain't gonna do it for us. They go 1-1. If Steph's a point guard, Russ is a point guard. If they're positionless,
but I feel like that what you're saying for me at least fits Russ more than it does Steph.
And I forgot Zeke.
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas. I said him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I leave him out too, but those are in the top 10. So, but Steph is the greatest shooter that's ever fucking lived. So people want to elevate him. And
I think he's a top 5 point guard of all time.
They're trying to say he might be number 1 point guard of all time now.
I think you can make that argument.
Which
I think for me, I think he's more from 3 to. It's even hard to put him at 3. I mean, it's the rings is what really puts him over the top, honestly. Because if he didn't have the rings, if they win that, or if they don't even win that first one, because if Kyrie doesn't get hurt and if Kevin Love don't get hurt, they probably don't win that first ring.
Probably not.
And then who knows if they
Braun would be up too.
Yeah, and who knows if they go back to next year, and if they do, then that rewrites a whole bunch of different shit. But I feel like that first one really kind of was the catalyst to what we see now.
Well, my thing, their dynasty started with that first ring, and then they go back the next year. LeBron has that amazing run, ruins their greatest season ever. Mm-hmm. And then they have to go out and get KD because they're like, listen, we can't have LeBron ruining our summer. We got sent home. And then that kind of ruined basketball in a sense because it was almost a lock that not only are the
it was
Warriors
just
going,
cheap rings to me.
but
I mean, to most people, it was just kind of cheap.
correct,
rings.
because it's like the amount of. I mean, it's still like they earned it, but at the same time, it's like, damn, like the amount of star power y'all had, like you guys were the greatest team ever fucking constructed.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, it's
like-
arguably 3 of the greatest shooters of all time.
Yeah, and like just the depth they had, and they're going against LeBron. Like, yeah, people say like, oh, LeBron had Kyrie, LeBron had Kevin Love.
Well, that third one with Kyrie was already checked out. Like he was ready to go to Boston, and
Yeah, like-
he wasn't all in. And then that fourth one, I mean, if J.R. Smith doesn't,
Yeah,
fuck up at the
game one.
end and fuck up that 51 piece, then
That could have rewritten the whole series too.
and really in all honesty, like the Warriors probably still win that series.
Yeah, but it's
Because
just,
then
you
we're
never
asking
know.
LeBron to do that 4 more times essentially.
But you never know, because that game probably could have gotten to the Warriors' head. Like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
he's after us. Like, you never know.
But-
But then they won, so it's like, it's just crazy how basketball works. It can completely flip, and like momentum is a real thing,
Yeah.
and like it's the team that comes ready. But I mean, every game is so important in the playoffs. So
Yeah, that shit was wild though. That's probably the greatest playoff run that I've ever seen, like witnessed myself.
I mean, just
He had-
the way, just what we grew up through, like Heat LeBron to back to Cavs LeBron to now Lakers LeBron is the greatest fucking basketball we've ever witnessed. I mean, and the man went 8 straight times to the finals. Like, every run was crazy in its own sense. Like, the shit he was doing.
Yeah.
2018 is the one you're talking about, though,
Yeah.
in particular, was LeBron's, like, quote-unquote craziest run, just because he was down, didn't matter. Like, everyone was like, oh, counting him out the whole time.
And it
like,
looked so effortless. It looked so effortless. Like
He was just
had that
fucking
buzzer
killing
beater
everybody.
against the Pacers in round 1, and they beat him. That one I think almost went 7 games. But when he got to Toronto, like that shit was like the most effortless fucking
Yeah.
easiest basketball. He
Yeah.
just made everything look
And
so
then
fucking
Boston,
easy.
right? And then with
Yeah,
Boston.
they went 7. But Tatum, that one, he fucking yammed all over LeBron, I think in like game 6, game 7.
Yeah, had that one like put back jam.
Yeah.
Yammy sandwich, but didn't matter because LeBron still took. It was like, all right, bitch, I'm going to the finals. Fuck you.
For real.
So
Damn, yeah. Good old fucking LeBron James.
I bet LeBron has. That's an interesting stat I just thought of. I bet LeBron has the most conference finals.
Appearances?
No,
Or
just
just-
wins. Like,
Oh,
'cause they get a trophy for that.
Yeah.
So because he's been to the finals more than some franchises.
Well, no, because fucking Bill Russell.
True. They damn near have almost the same amount of
Yeah.
finals appearances, though.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
Yeah.
Bill has 11, but that's as a coach. He probably win a couple more times.
I
Though.
thought he had. No,
No, Bill Russell has 11.
That's fucking.
Big shot, Bob.
No, who has 13? I thought someone had
No one
13.
has 13.
Phil Jackson has how many rings? He had 6, so he has 11
He
too.
had 6 and 5.
And he had one with the Knicks when he played.
So he has 12.
I think he had 2 with the Knicks. That's who has 13. I think he had 2 with the Knicks. Let me double check.
You got to look that up. He's got
Fact
2
check.
finals championships with the Knicks.
Yep.
Check when the Knicks have won the fucking
In
championship.
the fucking 70s. Phil Jackson rings. Here we go. How many rings does Phil Jackson have? 11. Damn it. Oh, but that's just as a coach. They don't have. Yeah, in total, Jackson has won 13 NBA rings. He was a member of the 2 New York Knicks championships in 70 and 73.
Wow.
Boom. See, I knew someone had 13. Fuck.
Still, he's not looked at as the greatest player, though. It
No,
would
but
be-
he's looked at as the greatest coach of all time. Because he only won 2 as a player. He won fucking 11 as a coach. So, But, also that being said, he had fucking
and he had 3 peats. as a
MJ.
coach.
He had 3 three-peats. He almost had 4 with the second with Kobe and Powell.
That'd been disgusting.
That is like people don't understand that shit. Like you see, like in any sports, like basketball more so we see it, and like teams going back to the finals and shit like that. But like just getting to the finals every year,
It's impressive on its own.
it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And then going and then okay, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
how many teams go back to back to the finals?
Not
Just
many.
go back to the finals.
Yeah,
Not even
not-
win. Just
not
go back
many.
to back.
I mean, that was the craziest part about like the Cavs Warriors run, because of like same teams were making it back every year. Like,
Yeah.
and we're saying like it's hard to go back, but like Same fucking but granted, this is like a LeBron thing because when he was when he played for the Heat, he went 4 straight times.
Sure did.
We only got 2 out of it, but he won. We went 4 straight times.
That's tragic. They should have got that first one.
Yeah.
LeBron choked.
Yeah, he did.
LeBron choked.
But I mean, D-Wade didn't, kind of fucked this up too. So that one hurt. But good for Dirk.
Durka. Yeah, they split that shit.
Yeah.
1-1.
Yeah.
1-1. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I did hear someone say that the Magic might try and make a run for Luka.
Interesting. Don't know how. I heard a thing about Dame, but it was for the Heat. That
they need somebody.
That Dame
they
is
need that fucking.
If basically like I guess he's in talks with Portland, and if they're just trying to rebuild, he's not going to ask for it, but they probably will do like what kind of happened with like the Westbrook situation.
Yeah, on April 12th, Luka Doncic trade rumors. Magic blockbuster deal for Mavs superstar? ?
Well, you'd be excited, wouldn't you?
That would be fucking great. I mean,
that'd be a cool thing to see.
It would be kind of. It would be kind of.
But that would be like, I don't see who they put around him to make that shit work. And I don't think Mark Cuban would make that happen either.
If Luka doesn't want to be there,
he'll get players where he wants to be there. He'll be like, we'll sign LeBron and Bronny. How about that, Luka?
Yeah, but they can't. I mean, think about it though. How many like big time free agents which I think it should be more. I don't know why it's not, but how many big time free agents go to the Mavs?
Free agents that have gone to the Mavs willingly, I don't think anyone.
You would think they would sign more people like that, but they don't really. They don't attract.
I mean, and trades, you would have had
trades is one thing.
Yeah, and free agency, I don't. Like I said, I don't know about anyone. Maybe Jason Terry, but I don't know if he was a free agent. I don't even think he was big, but like
Jason Kidd, maybe.
Well,
that
Jason Kidd, I think was
old.
a trade though, and because I think that was a Steve Nash trade. I think so.
Jason Kidd. I'm talking about the second time around, like when they won a chip.
I'm just saying, that was a trade originally, like Steve Nash. That's how he got to Phoenix. Was traded.
No, but I'm talking about the championship.
When they actually won.
I can't think. I mean, and I could be wrong, but I can't think of any big name free agents that have signed to Dallas. So I mean, if that's what if that's what Mark Cuban is banking on, that we'll get a big name or we'll trade somebody or whatever. Because I mean, again, they tried to. The Kyrie thing did not work, and that's not going to work. Kyrie, wherever he goes, is going to find a way to fuck it up. So, I mean, what are you going to if you do trade Kyrie, who do you trade? Who's going to be, unless there's a down team that's just looking to sell tickets or something like that, but I don't think any, like, winning organization is going to trade for Kyrie
Where
Irving.
did Kristoff get traded to? Where's he now?
Porzingis?
Is he with the Wizards?
Yeah. I don't know. Luka might say fucking bye-bye to good old Mark.
Maybe.
Mark in the Mets.
Marky Mark. It's possible.
That would be interesting if he comes to Orlando. That would be fucking dope. Rings.
Or,
rings all around.
If he wants to just go to Miami because it's nicer weather.
It is pretty nice down there.
Yeah, it's a nice time. Like, I mean, I love Orlando's our home. I love Orlando, but like, if you got to choose,
the vibes in Miami.
If you got to choose where you were 7 days a week, Miami or Orlando, you're picking Miami.
The vibes are different down there. The vibes are fucking different. It's a good time. But
gotta love Miami.
But yeah, I mean, so before we move on to the next fucking topic, who we got moving on to the next round?
All right, from every series,
yep.
2 from the East, I got the Heat and the Heat in Boston, and then I have Lakers and Suns.
I have Lakers and Nuggets, but I think I have Heat and Boston going on.
Fun fact about good old Knickerbockers: they're 0-7 when they lose a home playoff game to start a series.
Booyah!
So history tends to repeat himself.
Let's see if Jalen Brunson can bring him out of the depths.
Now he balled out today.
He's a dog too.
He balled today, but that ain't gonna do nothing.
He's a dog too.
Hey,
Obi Toppin too. I didn't think he was gonna be an impact player like he is when coming out of college. Like, I thought he was just gonna be like a dunker and whatever, and then just kind of fizzle out. But he's added to his
role
game
this year.
Yeah, and he's been shooting threes, like knocking them down. He's stepped up.
He was doing good.
He's developed into
what
a nice
I
role
see.
player.
I mean, granted, that's gonna be a hard fought series. I'm not saying we're just gonna work them, but
6 or
the
7.
Heat. No, either gentlemen's or 6. But I don't think we'll just sweep them. But I would say in game 1, for instance, they had 40 points in the paint, the Knicks, in the first half. The Heat, like, what we're so good at is coaching adjustments.
Yeah.
And, like, we made those adjustments. They had, like, 13 points in the paint the rest of the fucking game. Like,
Eric Spoelstra is fucking slept on. He's probably the best coach in the league.
One of them. I mean, for instance, the coach of the year was Mike Brown, understandably.
And where is he now?
On his way to Cancun.
There you go.
But
that being said, Eric Spoelstra.
He also did play the Warriors, so, I mean.
Yeah, with the fucking worst home record in the league, and they had home court advantage and lost Game 7 at home.
You mean with the worst road record?
That's what I said, no?
Home record.
Oh. Well, yeah, man, with the worst road record on the.
And they ended up stealing 2.
Yeah,
but.
So there you have it, folks.
But
nothing's a fucking given.
Nothing. All right, to the next one. You want to stay with sports or go into the other topics?
It don't matter to me. I mean, there was a draft, but listen, unless you're a fucking football nerd, you don't really care about the fucking draft unless it's like the first 2 rounds. That being said, we're probably going to go to the fucking bowl again next year. Our defense is going to be fucking top notch. We got Jalen Carter, which he had a lot of, and I'll make this short, he had a lot of character issues coming out of Georgia, but he was, as far as like talent and like player-wise, he was probably the best player in the draft, regardless of position. He actually went to Apopka. Dennis coached against him. Well, there you go. And he was, and Dennis has been telling me about him for a while now. And he fucking was a fucking, and imagine Georgia now is probably the top college football program in the country right now. He was a fucking standout there amongst all those NFL players.
Yeah.
So imagine now
Georgia produces.
Yeah. So now he's going to a team that just went to the Super Bowl, has fucking, leaders scattered around the locker room on both sides of the ball. Fucking Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, fucking Fletcher Cox.
Kelsey coming back?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. The list goes on. Our defensive line is probably one of our, if not our strongest point, one of them between the offensive line and defensive line. And he's going to a side of the ball where there is fucking veterans all around. So like,
and he's just that kind of talent with that kind of help.
Exactly. So if they're not gonna let him just come in and fuck around and fucking. So they're gonna keep him in check. And if they can keep him in check, keep him on the straight and narrow like he was. And again, that's kind of what the mix was when. Not this past year, but the year before at Georgia, that he had, those veteran leaders ahead of him, and he was just able to go out there and make plays and shit like that. So it's kind of the same mix, the same formula. I think we had a really good draft. We did just trade for DeAndre Swift too, so we just added more depth to our backfield, and I feel like he kind of fills in that role of what Miles Sanders was. So I think it's us, the 49ers, and people are going to start filling in from there. But I think the Lions are going to have a good season. I think nobody in the NFC South, I think they're all fucking, there might be a surprise in Carolina just because they made a lot of moves. But, that a lot of that's dependent on fucking, what's his name, Bryce Young, and how he plays coming out of college. But, the NFC is, pretty much to me like a 2-team race. And then, we're going to see people fall in after that. The NFC, not the AFC.
Okay, just looking at you.
Yeah, but even the Bills. I think Miami's probably going to win that division.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
You heard it here first. Miami's going to win the AFC North this year.
You disgust me.
Bills might be 3rd place this year.
You're crazy as fuck.
Aaron Rodgers. Mr. Rodgers came to town.
As fuck. No.
I'm just saying, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Miami wins the division and the Bills are 3rd in that division.
Behind the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers, bro. They just need him for one season. They had a good. That was the one thing that they were missing last year was a quarterback. They didn't have a comparable quarterback, and now they do. They have a fucking Hall of Famer, 4-time MVP, whatever the fuck.
They do have a great quarterback, but champ. I don't.
They got receivers. They have a great defense. They have good running backs. Their O-line, they need to shape it up a little bit, but
we got some good picks. We got a couple. Just one tight end from Utah.
Fucking Kincaid or whatever the hell his name is.
Nick Cade or Kincaid, something like that. I think you're right.
Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, he was
Dalton Kincaid, and then we got offensive lineman, a linebacker, a wide receiver, another offensive lineman, and a cornerback. So, pretty well-rounded draft for us.
Well, let's see if any of them hit. I'm
Hopefully
just saying,
the tight end is good.
Your offensive line needs to tighten up, and you guys need a fucking run game. Because if you just keep on running Josh, he's going to get hurt.
Yeah. That puts.
But even in that, they're still in that conference, not in the division, the conference. Fucking Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, fucking
there's
Justin
teams.
Herbert, fucking.
I'm not saying we don't
Trevor
have
Lawrence.
a good, steep road ahead of us, but
and I think the Jags are only going to get better. The fucking.
I think the Jags and the
Broncos.
The
I think they're going to get better this year.
I don't know about that, but
Sean Payton is
I
going to
see the Jags and the Chargers getting better with years to come. I mean, they're young teams. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. The Dolphins. I'm not saying. I don't.
Just have a really good.
What
roster.
you say is just crazy.
They just have a really good roster.
I'm not saying the Dolphins are shit, but
if Tua can stay healthy, then they. I mean,
I don't see them coming out as like the number one in our division. I don't see that. I still think it's going to be the Bills. Patriots, I see them, declining a little bit. Maybe, like you said, Jets probably 2, but it'd be between. For me, it's Miami and Jets fighting for that 2 spot. I got the Bills.
Are you just saying that? That sounds like a little bias in your voice.
See, you thought that when I was talking about the Heat versus the Bucks, but who was right?
Oh shit! Fair enough. I guess we'll see. This is just early predictions. Like I said, I might be a little high on Miami, but based off what they did last season, and
I love how. And I wasn't saying the Bills, for instance, are going to the bowl. I just said we're first in our division. You're over here saying the Birds go to the bowl. Like
Birds, they just went to the Super Bowl.
Okay, and we were just talking about it earlier in the show. How many times have a team gone back to back to the championship?
It's all good. It's all good.
It's just a hard thing to do.
Maybe it's the 49ers time this year. I wouldn't be mad at that either because I like the 49ers. I like their team. Their defense is fucking. Fred Warner's he's a baller. But yeah, so there's my little NFL talk for the podcast. I don't want to get you guys too bored and shit.
Well, let's go into I want to go into the gun laws.
Gun laws.
Good old guns. Starting, if y'all aren't familiar with the new gun laws, in Florida, and it actually starts on July 1st, new laws kick in. But in Florida, people now can carry a concealed weapon without a permit.
Bye.
So, I mean, there's 2 sides of the spectrum. There's some people who think this shit's going to be crazy. There's some people who are like, okay, that's good because, for instance, like there's an old saying, what's the one thing that stops a bad guy with a gun?
A good guy with a gun.
Exactly. So, for instance, people who carry guns most of the time, whether it be, permitted or not permitted, people who don't have it permitted, they were carrying it regardless. Yeah. So like the only thing I see, like I could see the plus side in this where it will just be more law-abiding citizens now being able to access and have their own gun on them without getting the permit. Because getting a permit, it wasn't really that hard anyways.
Yeah.
You just got to apply. Besides if like you're a felon or like there's certain misdemeanors that you can't get one as well.
I'm sure like assault or
like domestic violence misdemeanors, or like there's certain misdemeanors where they won't let you get a concealed weapons permit. But besides that, getting a permit isn't too hard. But this just, like I said, I think gives more access to people who maybe don't want to get the permit or were too lazy to get the permit or whatever, but are still law-abiding citizens. Hopefully this isn't just giving access to the crazy fucks that want to go shoot up the place.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think guns are cool. Like I've shot guns. Like I don't have an issue with them. I don't think guns are bad. I think people's are bad.
It's in the amendment for the reason.
Yeah. I don't think guns are bad. I think people are bad. Like,
correct.
And if if I give a good kid my phone, they're going to do, whatever. If I give a bad kid my phone, they're going to start doing whatever, throwing shit, whatever, looking up shit they shouldn't be. That has nothing to do with the phone. Correct. It has everything to do with the person and the intent. So in that case, I kind of think that's a bad argument when people throw that shit out there. But to me, like, I feel that it's just gonna make people more aware. So even if you are a fucking crazy dude with a gun, now you know that there could be somebody in there
else with a gun
that you might think twice before you go and try and rob a bank or try and go to fucking bring a gun to school or some shit like that, because you know that there is somebody there. There very well could be somebody there with a gun. Also, instance, before you start, Texas just passed a bill that every school has to have armed guards.
Yeah, so I saw that too. But regarding the school thing, granted, the guns wouldn't be permitted. The gun, licensed or not, guns are never permitted on school grounds.
Yeah, but some fucking crazy kid that might.
Correct. It could. I mean, who knows? This could give, like you said, it could give access to the wrong people to get guns. But my thing is more of, if good people have guns, they should be able to balance it out.
Yeah.
And another thing is, as well, I think it's more of like, for instance, the states with the strictest gun laws, which is, Illinois, California, they usually, or not usually, they statistically have a high amount of gun violence.
Yeah.
And they're the ones with the strictest gun laws.
Yeah.
So it's like, you almost wonder, is it because not enough good people can access guns? Because if it's a bad person, they're going to get the gun regardless.
Yeah, they're going to get
If they want a gun, they're going to get the fucking gun.
Yeah, they're not worried about fucking,
they're not worried about,
to the store.
It's against the law. No one cares.
Dude in the corner of my street sells guns. I'm going to buy one off him. I don't give a fuck.
So, like, if they want a gun, there's clearly access to guns everywhere. You can get it off black market. Like you said, guy from around the corner. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
So, I think that this might, like I said, basically evens out the playing field for the good guy versus the bad guy.
That, and like, not for nothing, most of the people that I know that own guns know what the fuck they're doing. It's not like they're out here fucking like people that I know that carry guns in their car are like gun enthusiasts or things like that. Like, those people that I know are like, they know what the fuck they're doing. Like, they're not out here just fucking waving shit around, like trying to look cool or trying to fucking impress. They just have it for protection.
People who flex guns are different. That's a different breed. But yeah, like you said, the people I know with guns, and they're not, all enthused like, oh, I wish somebody would do something. They wish the opposite. They're like, I hope nobody ever does anything.
Yeah.
But if someone does, they're prepared.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I have met a few people that have guns that like are waiting for the day to somebody break into their fucking house.
There is those people.
Shit like that,
I'm not saying there isn't, because I know one or two, but I know more people that are more of like on the proactive side of like, I don't want anything bad to happen to me or anyone I know.
God,
but if it does, I'm ready. Like, I have this on me, like,
and
no
that's
one's gonna fuck with me or mine.
And that's fucking life. Like, if you're not prepared for something and it comes and blindsides you, it's probably gonna do more damage than if you are prepared for something and something comes and you kind of like what to do, procedure, all that shit. If knowledge is power. A lot of people are scared of things because they don't know. They're not knowledgeable in these things. They have no experience with it. Obviously, guns are fucking scary. They're powerful. If you've ever shot a gun, you know the fucking type of feeling you can get from it. It is that power. Like,
people sometimes do get that rush of power.
It is, and it fucking gives you a fucking like, damn, like that shit. But if you don't know that, if you've never tried that, if you've never experienced it, then like it's hard for someone to speak on it like they know. Or like and I'm not even someone that like I know too much about guns. Like I said, I've shot guns, 2 or 3 times in my life, and it was definitely like, damn, you can see how someone can go kind of like power hungry and power crazy on this shit. But like, again, most people are doing it within the confines of the rules, going to a shooting range or fucking going to a gun store and buying or whatever and things like that. Like, I feel like a lot of people let the exception become the rule.
Correct, and it's. Like, this is also the law that Florida just passed. This is a similar law that there's like 15 other states that have this in place already.
Yeah.
I guess I could look it up real quick. Hold on.
And a lot of this, and it's shitty that it becomes like this, but a lot of this, things like that becomes, people turn it political. And it's like, oh, well, you support that gun law, then you must be you must love Republican. Oh, you think like,
Republican or Democrat,
you want to take away my guns? You must be a fucking liberal. It's like, no, it's just fucking guns.
So some of the other states that have similar gun laws: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Georgia, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, and Wyoming all have similar permitless carry laws. Which, for instance,
but who the fuck is in Wyoming? There's probably no reason.
I'm surprised.
There's nobody
they
there.
have similar. For instance, I thought it would be more like Washington State. Washington, when I used to live out in Washington, that's an open carry state.
Oh, for real?
People have that shit on their hip, like you see it.
Yeah.
This is still a concealed, permitless.
You have to hide it. Yeah.
You got to have it concealed. You can't be showing it to the world. Like you can still get in trouble for that shit.
Yeah.
Washington was a wild place. I had people walking into my stores with guns on their hip, and I'm like, well, I'm like,
not gonna fuck with you.
I hope you're a good guy, because if not, I got a wrench. That's about it.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
I ain't got no fucking. I was like, I wasn't strapped up in the store, so I'm like, well, hopefully I don't get shot up out here.
See, but that's the thing though. Like, most of the time you're not going to. Like, most
Correct.
of the time,
and I'm not
and
necessarily
it is.
scared.
And I know you're joking around and shit like that. But like most of the time,
it just makes you more aware.
Yeah.
I was never scared in any situations. Even like I would, walk around the counter, talk to the people. Yeah. I'm still trying to make sales. I'm not like, oh, what do you want? Like I'm still gonna, I'm still gonna press a sale versus me just like, oh,
it's like that awesome.
How can I help you, sir? Yeah, mole. But yeah. So it's more of like, and those people, for instance, like they would. I don't know what it is. I must have that face, but people always get into like their background stories with me.
Same. Most
of those people were like ex-military.
Yeah.
There was like one that was like a retired policeman. Like,
and
so it's like it just makes sense, They already have had guns through their profession.
Yeah.
So it was like that's a normal thing for them.
Mm.
They're carrying it just because like, it goes on when my belt goes on. Like that's how just some people think. Though. Like for instance, my uncle, one of my uncles was a cop. Like has that thing on him.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, no, like I said, I mean, obviously, like, a gun is dangerous, like, just like a knife is dangerous, if it's in the wrong hands, or just like fucking anything can be dangerous if it's in the wrong fucking hands. But, like I said, being familiar with these things and having a better understanding and not buying into, like, the media hype of shit and, like, and not to, take away from it, obviously, school shootings and people getting shot, that, that's terrible things. Mm-hmm. But, like, do your own fucking research. Well, like, look, just kind of like, don't just see the headline and then decide what your opinion is based off that. Like, read into it a little bit more. Fucking, I know tons of people who are left leaning that agree with fucking guns, that don't think guns are bad, that the people that use guns are fucking bad.
And I mean, just to go off the school shooting, for instance, like way back when, I mean, even before we were born, people have had guns for, this is a normal thing. Like, people in Texas have always had guns. People in Florida have had guns. People in New York had guns. Like, people always have had guns. It's been more on, like, from, like, 2000 on, like, this new age kind of people that now school shootings became a thing. But, like, this was never a thing back in the day. Like, no one thought to do stupid shit like that. Nowadays, it's more, and, people want to say it's the guns. It's not a gun issue. It's more of a mental health issue.
I think it's a mental health thing, and I also think it's which is not a bad thing because it leads people to do, things that you didn't think you could, but it's, the pushing of, like, you could do whatever you can do. You like, in this country, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
I think it might be the anti-bullying thing, too. Like, anti-bullying was a real big thing pushed when we were younger. That's probably why we have so much of these dumbasses. Like, no, I'm true. This is probably why we have so many fucking dumbass people in the world. That, like, everyone was so soft on, like, everyone, like, the new age people growing up. Like, oh, don't bully them, or, oh, everybody's equal, or, oh, this, or, oh, that. It made soft-ass people.
I mean,
people are so, like, hell-bent on, like, oh, you're going to offend somebody. I don't give a fuck. What the hell?
Well, in that aspect, yeah. I feel like, you're going to get you can't not get offended. Like, it's up to you what you're going to let offend you. And if you let little things offend you, then, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like, get thicker skin. Like, grow the fuck up. Whatever. But, like, the bullying thing, I get. Obviously, you don't want, if you have a kid and they come home and they say someone's fucking picking on them and calling them names and making them feel bad, giving them wedgies and shit, like.
Well, that's different.
That's bullying.
As soon as it comes to physical
I'll be like, here,
altercation.
son, take this.
No. As soon as it comes to a physical altercation, that's where it's like, it's different. If words, it's that simple saying, words can't hurt, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt you.
And I agree with that, because
like,
most of the time,
words are words.
But the thing is that you have to understand that me and you are different people.
I get that.
A lot of, and I know I can speak for myself, like, the only way that words are gonna hurt me if it comes from somebody that I care about, my family, my friends, a significant other. If some fucking random Joe Schmo comes up to me and calls me whatever fucking name, calls me whatever racial slur, whatever the fuck, I don't care, because who the fuck is this person? I don't give a fuck about what you have to say. Like, call me any name you fucking want. All right, are you done? Like, all right, I hope you have a nice day. Now, if they start getting, like, and Chael Sonnen has a good point, that if they start, you see that look in their eyes and they start getting close to you, it's like, when I was younger, obviously my parents told me to, don't throw the first punch and shit like that. So I would fucking antagonize and make sure they made the throw the first punch. But now it's like, hey, if I see someone that is, I don't know who they are, and I see that look in their eyes, like, I'll give them one, like, back the fuck up, touch me again, where it's going on. It's like, and then.
Well, that's like when you made the point about the wedgie thing. That's different too, because like I'm a firm believer in parenting. Like, I'm not a parent yet, but if my kid were to come home and like, oh, so and so hit me or so and so did this, I'm a firm believer in it is okay to defend yourself. Go back to school the next day. They touch you, punch them straight in the fucking mouth.
Oh yeah.
And then see if they touch you again. Like, I would, I would love to get a call from the principal saying, oh, Mr. Venus, so and so knocked out. like
good
shit,
my boy.
We're getting ice cream later. Like,
I think we just found your future career, but one hit wonder. What the fuck?
Nice, just like your father.
Yeah, and I mean, like, again, it is. There's also just some kids that are just not fucking built like that. There's just some people that are just soft. They're not really fighters. And it doesn't even matter on your size or whatever, because I know people that are bigger, intimidating physically, but like, I would not take them in a fight. If I had to put money on somebody, it's like, I probably wouldn't take them, just because they don't have like that. It is a certain type of mentality.
Yeah, you gotta have that dog in you.
Even me, like, I don't like to fight, but when it comes down to it, like, I'm down to get fucking.
I'm a very chill person.
Exactly.
It takes
most people will say that.
It takes forever to give you back. People can be doing some wild shit, and I'll be like, okay, like. I'm not even an antagonizer or nothing. Like, I'll just hear people out, whatever. But at the same time, I've never in my life been scared to fight.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been, and it could be because of like just the way, like, my dad told me that when I was real young. Like, oh, if someone hits you, don't be afraid to hit them back. Blah blah. He instilled that in me. Like, if someone's fucking with you, you beat their ass, and I'm like, all right. But like, I have, like you said, I have strong enough skin to where people would mess with me. I didn't give a fuck. Like, I was like, okay.
Yeah. So, and again, it's just because I grew up in the same household as both of my sisters. My older sister is a lot more sensitive than I am. My younger sister is more about, like, she's more kind of like, she still is kind of sensitive, but can take a joke a little bit more and can fuck around a little bit more. But we all grew up in the same household.
I mean, that's the same with Isabel and Amber.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just
Amber grew up with me, so it's different. Amber is tough. Like, Amber grew up being tougher because I'm the one fucking with her. Like, I was bullied. She was my friend.
Jacob's the bully.
She was my friend. Nah, I didn't bully Amber too much. Siblings are siblings.
I never bullied. Like, even my younger sister, like my younger cousins, like, I was always the chill one, whatever. I never bullied any of them.
I'd protect her more than
obviously,
ever
but
bullied
like,
her.
like how siblings, like, my older sister was the one that was bullying.
Yeah. Isabel bullied me, though.
Like, I bet. I'm sure she did.
Yeah, she was 6 years older than me, so I mean,
Rachel's 5 years older than me.
So
she used to fuck with me on another level.
Until I was like 12 and like pinned her arms down one time.
Yeah, once you start getting bigger than them and you start getting stronger,
we're done here. But until that, she would yell at me. She would fucking hit me with shit. One time, her and Amber teamed up on me. Fucking wrap me in my comforter and like fuck. This is at
I think you told me this story.
Yeah, this is like at a time where the room I had like laminate in it.
Yeah.
So, and my bed had wheels, so it like could move a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they both pushed me at the same time, so my bed slid. I fell in between the wall and my bed, wrapped in a fucking comforter. Lost my shit.
Claustrophobic.
Lost my shit. I had never been claustrophobic in my life, but in that moment, I thought I was gonna die. I was like, yeah, I fucking was panicked like a motherfucker. Because I was stuck like so tight, and like the way I fell was like head first. So it was like the angle was just terrible. I was so scared.
Damn.
But they got me out.
Save me.
I was freaking the fuck out,
son. Yeah, no, I was. I mean, because even like in school, like when I saw people getting picked on, like the first fight I got picked on was my friend was getting beat up. and I dropped a people's elbow on this kid's back. Got up and fucking walked. Like, made sure my friend was good. I'm like, you good? You good? All right, bet. Just fucking walked away. And I thought I was gonna get away with it. And then, like, when I came back from recess, Eric, you need to go to the office, the principal's office. But that one I didn't get in trouble because, like, I told my mom and I told my dad, it's like, yeah, I mean, my friend was getting beat up. What'd you want me to do? Just watch him get beat up? Yeah. And, like, looking back on it now, I probably could have really fucked that kid up because I dropped an elbow right on his spine. Like, I fucking boom. But, you know, he's still walking.
Nah, so, like, I never got messed with, like, at all in elementary school or middle school. No one ever fucked with me.
There was few times that I got messed with, and there was few times, more in elementary school, not so much in middle school and shit like that, but there was a few times that I got messed with, but, like, you know, again, I wasn't scared. Like, I was like, all right, well, if we're going to fight. And, like, again, at that point, I had no idea. I was just kind of, like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. But, like, once I started getting into middle school and shit like that, and high school, people would see that, like, you know, they would try and poke around. But once they saw that I was, like, all right, like, if we're going to fight, we're going to fight. Then they were kind of like, oh, like, oh, no, whatever, blah, blah, whatever. And, like, kind of back down. But it's like, listen, I'm not saying I can't fucking get knocked out, but I'm gonna fucking. Right, I'm gonna go out with a fucking fight. I'm like, we're gonna do it.
I mean, I think it was
prove
more,
it to me.
Like, it was definitely, you know, getting held back in first grade before I, like, you know, skipped a grade to make myself graduate in the right year. But getting held back was definitely a reason probably I never got fucked with. Because, for instance, I wouldn't let anyone that was younger than me fuck with anyone else because I was like, nah, you're not doing that. Yeah. And then the people who were in my class, who are now a grade above me, they didn't fuck with me. I mean, they were actually fucking with me more than anyone else, but, like, I didn't take any of them seriously because they were my age. I'm like, fuck you guys. Like, I'll see y'all in a bit. Fuck. But after that, and I mean, it also helped, like, in my neighborhood, I was friends with, like, older kids. So, like, just growing up with always being, like, younger, you always were like, oh, okay. Like,
I mean, it helps that you're a cool dude too. So it's like, you know,
that's always
a lot of it. You know, if you're a cool dude, you give off good vibes. Like, most people aren't gonna fuck with you. Like, keep the peace and whatever. But again, you always get that.
There's always that one person who will attempt
that
it.
One out of the 10 people that is like, all right, well, let me see. What's good.
And like you were saying, some people, it's not even necessarily picking on you, but they'll, like, try to test your limits, like try to see if they can get under your skin. And then most of the time they just realize, oh, he is fucking cool. So
exactly,
and they stop. Like,
exactly. So,
like, there was a couple kids who were, like, real hard, like, in middle school and shit, who would, like, fight a bunch of different people, like, try to, like, fuck with you real quick, and just to see, like, if they can scare you or make you fold, basically, and you just are like, yes, and, like, stand up, and then they're like, you're a pretty cool guy, you know that? And you're like,
yeah, I know, thanks.
And then, you know,
thanks for realizing.
Yeah, I was always cool with everybody. Like, no one had beef with me. I didn't have beef with nobody.
Yeah, no, yeah, same. There's like I said, a few times here and there, but for the most part, like, again, most people are just, you know, they think you're cool, whatever, think I'm cool. And plus, like, a lot of people, like, I know I walk, like, when I'm just naturally just walking around, like, I just have a very, like, stoic, like, straight face. So it can look like, you know, I'm kind of an asshole. But then when I start talking to people.
More now than, like, when we were younger, I'd feel. Like, now, probably for you, or even me as well, when I was younger, there's no way I looked hard or fucking scary or anything.
I mean, yeah,
I was a baby face killer.
Like, but like, just straight face, like, just, you know, how people just kind of have that natural, like, so, like, you know. But again, once people start talking to me and I start talking, and I'm like, you know, I'm not as scary looking as people think I look, which is kind of weird because, like, there is like people that tell me that, like, I'm intimidating or I intimidate them and shit like that, and I just, like. It's like, why? What am I doing? Like, I'm not even doing anything.
Big curly-headed creature.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone gets, you know, everyone's different. So
it's because I'm so awesome. They don't know how to deal with themselves and their feelings.
And then a topic I wanted to touch on, because it's been going around the news, circulating for a while, and I mean, I personally like him as an actor. Yeah. So, like, hearing it kind of was like, damn, because you never want to hear this about anybody.
Good old Johnny Majors.
Jonathan Majors is he's been facing alleged domestic violence.
Alleged being the key word.
Yeah. Yes, it's alleged. I mean, he does have a court date. I believe for later in this month May. So we'll see what happens. But according to reports, it was alleged by his girlfriend at the time. And I don't know how bad, like, the allegations are. There was never any, like, you know, in certain cases, like when any allegations like this come out, you're always like, at least me, I'm kind of skeptical until I see like evidence, because it's women in particular, which I don't condone domestic violence. I don't think any woman should ever be hit by a man, but women have so much power to where they could simply say something happened,
Yeah.
and a man's whole life can be ruined.
Yeah, it has turned more into guilty until proven innocent instead
Correct.
of innocent until proven guilty.
So that's what, like, when I hear these certain allegations, I like wait a second, and it like makes me like question it, because I'm like, but did they really do? Because if they really did that, I mean, like I said, I'm full for a woman getting justice and whatever punishment they deem fit, he has to do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, most of the time, there's just these crazy allegations. And I mean, domestic violence is a big one, but like it was even scandals of like, you know, when you see it a lot in like the college football players, or like almost NFL football players getting caught up in some crazy like alleged rapes, or alleged, oh, he hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are looking for payouts. Some people are just looking to fuck you over. And it's just like how damaging just the allegation can be sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, he's got a court date scheduled for May. Nothing has came out. Like, there's no pictures surfaced, nothing of like proof of this yet.
Yeah.
But like already, he was dropped by his talent agency. He was dropped by his management company. And like, he's a pretty sought after actor right now, at least. I mean, he's been in shit. He was in the Ant-Man. He was in Creed. He's been in like a couple.
He did In the Harder They Fall.
That was a great fucking movie. That's actually where I first saw him. That was a fucking great movie.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, it is like just saying, just alleging that this shit happened. Like you said, all the shit that's come just from someone saying that there's domestic violence. Agency managers. Just kind of like the public perception of you too. Like people kind of look at you like, oh shit, like you hit a woman, like
correct.
They kind of give you weird stares and shit like that, and just kind of like the public shame that comes with that. So it is like. It is, and especially coming from, weird guys, and we have sisters, and like, the type of
we'll never condone it, but at the same time you like question it, because you're like,
well, the thing is that like I feel like as a woman they won't understand how damning and how damaging those just those allegations,
just those words,
just saying
said.
Like just putting those words onto somebody and like
Correct.
You hit me, even if it's true or not. The fucking cloud of darkness that goes over you, and like just again the public perception of shit and how people view you and things like that. It really is, and even if it turns into it's just allegations, he beats the case, whatever, it's still that looming like
how damaging did it how much damage did it cause before it clears up,
which and in his case, if it does come out that nothing happened and it was just an allegation or whatever, like he should be fine. Like it should be, he should be able to.
I mean, that is a thing
to come back from that pretty easily. But again, it does. It is a monkey wrench thrown at you.
Yeah.
It is a fucking bump in the road that is unnecessary for the most part. If the allegations aren't true.
Correct. Well, like I said, I don't. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. We don't know. I'm not a fucking lawyer here. I'm not a judge. Haven't seen anything regarding the case besides like little things I read. So I'm getting all this information from, but. It is, crazy because it's like, one, it was his girlfriend. So there's always a little gray area there because you don't know exactly, like, were they arguing? Were they getting in a fight? Like, and I'm not saying, like, a physical fight, but were they just in a verbal argument, and, like, to stop that or to get her point across, she's like, oh, you hit me, So I don't want to say that. I'm not trying to, like, damn her by being like, oh, she's a liar. Like, he didn't touch her because I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
He could have done some crazy shit.
No, we're strictly just talking about just the allegation itself. Yeah, the damage that just an allegation can do.
Not like if it's true or not. Because if it's true, like I said, I'm all for him getting whatever punishment they deem fit.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking on specifically the allegation itself.
Especially when it is like a man to a woman. like those type of allegations are just, again, like it's hard to shake that shit. Even if you clear your name or whatever, it is hard to fucking move on because again, that stigma is just kind of gonna stick around a little bit.
I mean, we bring it up a lot, and like, I'm not saying what he did was right, but like, it's a time frame thing. For instance, Chris Brown. Mm-hmm. Chris Brown, we saw what he did. Yeah. Like, that wasn't an allegation. That was fucking, you see the evidence right there in front of you.
Yeah.
And granted, I think he was wrong for doing it, but at the same time, after, there's got to be a time period after so long. Like, in the court of law, he did whatever he needed to do to clear it up, and like, Rihanna forgave him. And that, I feel like that at the end of the day is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is the person, like, that is the victim, as long as they have closure and they get over it, like, and they're like, okay, then I feel like then the allegations, or then the, whatever the case may be, is not done at that point, but that's like, okay, if they forgave him, the world should forgive him.
Yeah, but I mean, we've talked about this. People want to stay mad. People want to be mad for other people and like be offended for other people. And it's just like, what the, like, for why? Like, you don't have, and most of the times because they got nothing better going on, they're just fucking, they're just looking for some shit to fucking
be mad about.
Exactly. Keep the, make themselves feel good and shit. But like, most people are getting mad and offended for other people. And I think that is just the dumbest shit ever. Like, Jesus Christ, like, and I have a good life. I have enough shit that I could be mad about of my own life and fucking of my own, and my own things going on. Why would I make extra time to be mad for somebody else when they're not even mad about shit themselves? Like, that shit just does not make sense to me. And then you're just fucking creating more problems. You're creating drama. You're creating more stress for yourself. Again, my life is fun. I love my life. I have a good life. I have family, friends, roof, a car, clothes, food, all that shit. And yet and still, I have enough things that I can be mad about in my own life. I'm not gonna fucking be mad for other people.
Yeah, putting
like, I mean, I'm not gonna like. I just
putting energy that's unneeded into
real shit,
unnecessary things.
Real shit. I don't know.
Life's hard enough.
Yeah, it is. But again, people got to do what they got to do, I guess. And I guess part of that is being mad for other people, even when they're not mad or offended. But
like I said, hopefully, I mean, this should all be handled within the next month. I'm sure we'll get, more news and more details about it. Hopefully he didn't do it. I would like to say I hope he didn't do it. He's, a pretty up and coming actor right now. Yeah. He's getting pretty big, pretty sought after.
All that being said, just keep your hands to yourselves.
Yeah.
Guys, keep your hands to yourselves. Girls, don't be poking and antagonizing and saying you won't hit me and all that shit.
Correct,
because then you're gonna run into the wrong guy and then he will fucking hit you.
It might be a complete and everyone has a lack of judgment. It could be a clear mistake for a guy, but I don't want to see any woman get hurt off of them thinking, "Oh, you won't hit me."
Yeah,
because there is people that will.
Yeah, they are.
Everyone, every person, every man, every woman, everybody has their limit. Yep. There's a breaking point for everybody.
Yep.
I don't condone violence, especially towards women, and I never will, but I'm just saying everyone has a breaking point.
Yep, you got to know what you're dealing with.
So,
and I've made this analogy before. It's like fucking, and this goes into fucking basketball a little bit. Dylan Brooks poking the bear. If you poke the bear, you got to you're getting what you're asking for.
You got to deal with the consequences.
Exactly. Like, I would never personally fucking try and fucking provoke and antagonize someone who is a fucking trained fucking fighter, trained killer, whatever. None of that shit. Why would I do that? I don't stand a fucking chance. Why would I even want to fucking see if I can fucking hold my own when I know I can't? That's just the fucking reality of fucking life. There's just some people in this world that would just fucking make light work of me. And that's just what it is. I'm not going to fuck with those people.
Yeah.
Unless I have to defend or protect myself. But even then,
or my family, I'd be like,
yeah, exactly.
Even myself, I might run from the situation. But if it's gotta protect my family or fight them, I'd be
God damn it, guys.
I'd be like, fuck. I'd be like, I want a comfortable bed to be in this coma. Let's get it.
Fuck.
And I'd go into it guns blazing. But there is people. I mean, that does help in that exact situation. It does help of the delusional confidence I have, because that would help me throughout most things. But we know this.
You gotta know your fucking limits.
Yeah, we know
know your limits.
There's boundaries, there's limits that should not be crossed. If I have to, I will cross them.
Exactly.
But I would.
But
never
there's
want
very
to.
few exceptions for that.
Yeah.
So all that being said, just fucking use your brain. You know.
Another famous quote: "Everybody love everybody."
Boom. Oh man. All right. Well, yeah. That being said, I think we'll wrap it up here. Do you have anything you want to say? Even though we've been talking for about an hour before we sign off.
Next coming episodes, you guys will start seeing some guests on.
Yep, that's actually what I was gonna say. And I'm gonna cut this for a snippet and post it. So, yeah. So this next coming week, we already have a guest lined up. Look out for that. But for anyone that we've already reached out to, or anybody that wants to be on the podcast, just hit us in our DMs, or we'll start responding, going through our DMs and responding to the people that we've already been in contact with, and start creating a list and start scheduling people to have you guys on the podcast. So then, we can have you on, you get the exposure, we get the exposure from, you, and it's a business transaction, all that shit. We're trying to help each other out. We're trying to grow and things like that. So, like help Jacob said, be on the lookout for guests in the next coming weeks and shit like that. So,
big things coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with that, everybody love everybody. See y'all next week.
Peace.